Yeah, I get that rattle in it. Are we rolling?
Yeah, just misjudged.
No, we're
The Jason Harv Show. The Jason Harv Show. The Jason Harv Show.
The Jason Harv Show. But it might. Jason Harv. But it's the Harv N Jace Show.
Yeah. Harv N Jace Show.
I felt like
Harv N Jace Show.
That's it. I felt like I get the bigger mic, so Harvey.
So I get the headline.
He gets the billing. He gets top billing. So, Harv, how you doing, buddy?
I'm pretty good. Feeling great today.
Like-
The weather is on my side.
You look chipper. You look healthy.
Yeah, I took my vitamins today.
Awesome. But we were just finished talking with our first episode with Skylar Williams and Micah.
Micah, yeah.
Micah.
Yeah, she just was fine with Micah.
Micah.
Yeah.
Like she's like Selena status.
Selena, yeah.
Like Madonna.
Micah Madonna. Yeah, I got you.
Micah Madonna. That's it. That we'll call her Micah Madonna. No. So we have with us, you want to introduce?
We have with us Mr. Derek Miller.
And Derek, we've known
Accomplished. I've known Derek since like high school days,
Yeah.
so it's been a
Pauline Johnson.
while.
Yeah.
Yep.
We've known each other our whole lives,
Our whole
fellas.
life, man.
And I'm glad to be here. Thank you for having me here.
Awesome.
Nyamagoa.
Thank you, man. We were excited thinking, we were talking about the show and like we were talking about like, let's narrow it down to like the top 10 guests or something, right? Remember that?
Yeah.
And like you were right up there because
you're like one of the first two names out of our
yeah.
list.
Well,
We're-
thank you very much.
we're
Appreciate
on
it.
Six Nations, man. And when I think of Six Nations, I think of Derek Miller.
Oh.
So like
You're a good ambassador
exactly.
for our community.
Well, I appreciate that, fellas, but I'm seriously not here for any recognition or anything like that at all. I'm only here because you guys, because of social media, I
Right.
saw Jace online saying, "Look, let's get together. Anybody have any
Totally.
projects?"
Let's be creative, yeah.
And I was like, you need to start asking people about what's going on just across the
Right.
road from you.
Right.
And then Harv was on there going, I want to do something. And they're like, just got together. And I was so glad because we need to establish our own media and our own narrative. And to go forward, that's how we can get some progress, I do believe.
100%. And that's exactly what we're saying. We were hearing perspectives from people who, and I'm frankly, I'm tired of hearing like hearsay and speculative things because it shapes your opinion before you even have any kind of facts. And
Right.
I don't think you do yourself justice when you do that. And then it's also hard to change your mind frame when you've already been force-fed sometimes this misinformation.
Right, and it was awesome to go to the horse's mouth. When I went and took my sound gear the first time to Landback Lane, I didn't really understand what was happening, but I knew I had to back the land defenders because they're putting their
And the land defenders, they're standing up for
their
Six Nations
bodies.
right
Yeah,
now.
they're putting their bodies on the line for our grandkids to have some, land that is rightfully ours, and to learn what was happening was kind of disheartening, to tell you the truth. To hear, I really backing Skylar Williams and what he and his land defenders are doing because he's not there for any other purpose but to try and do the same thing, protect Six Nations for the future generations.
Right. Yeah.
I'm not going, if it's not for everybody, it's not for nobody. I
100%.
really liked what he said there.
And
that made me go, I like backing that. Once I heard from the horse's mouth
100%.
that he was there out of pure intent. I mean, that's why I went, because
Right.
of pure intent. I don't have no agenda.
Yeah.
I'm just there to help provide some uplifting spirits.
Exactly. And they need that lift, right?
Give an
Because-
injection because the fatigue is very, very,
Very real.
Yeah, and you can feel it. But above all, you can feel the unity and the passion and the love
Right.
above that fatigue.
Yeah.
So that's why I had to get there. And when I heard that from the horse's mouth, I was like, this is a good thing.
I mean, I was there. I was there. I was so happy, Derek, that you invited me and Big Joe, Logan Stotts, all from Six Nations. And to me, that spoke volumes. Just the unity of the artists, too, to support what's happening at Six Nations. And we had a chance, Harv, to talk to Skylar and Micah all about what's going on down there. And if people don't know, there's a development.
Mackenzie Meadows, now known as 1492 Landback Lane.
Yeah.
So the land in question here.
Okay, so let's get to that.
Yeah.
So back in the American Revolution, so we signed the Haldeman Proclamation was brought to us for 1784.
Yeah.
So that gave us the Grand River 6 miles on either side from the source to the mouth.
Perfect.
And from 1784 to now, there has been illegal land grabs. There has been illegal sales. And there's actually documentation through, I think, Film and Tour was working for lands for 40 years and,
Right.
and actually proved that Caledonia was 90% Ongwe land still.
Wow.
And actually Brantford is around that as well. All
Which makes
Haudenosaunee
sense.
land.
They're right on our doorstep.
Right, and if you go up that whole track, you'll see Kitchener. That's all probably mostly Haudenosaunee land that has been illegally sold. So what we're looking at Mackenzie Creek over there, it's just crumbs and absolute
Totally.
peanuts.
Totally.
Because the bigger picture is the trillions of dollars of land. If you want to really put a number on it,
Yep.
it is beyond. Like, it's a big number.
Yeah, but
It's a
all
big
the,
number.
All the economy, all the business,
Yes.
all the e-commerce that's taking place on that land, the resources.
Yes, and we're not trying to get people kicked out of there. We know that we have to live together and be allies. And what Canada's biggest mistake right now is not believing in the Ongwe Haudenosaunee people, their allies, because if they get us to a full power, there will be no stopping Canada. And they don't understand that aspect. We're not looking at peanuts here. I'm looking at a broader picture,
Yeah.
even for the greater of the country.
Awesome.
Going forward, I'm hoping that Canada can see that mistake and we can move further ahead by helping Ongwe and Haudenosaunee people. I mean, by giving us the resources through the land transfers and
Right.
some of that crap that's happened, so we
Right.
can help get our language, culture back, help rebuild the clan, so that gives us a voice through the people. There is so much stuff happening inside of our own people that
Right.
we have to address first and foremost.
100%.
Which is why I was listening to the 20 years moratorium on development, which would give time for the clans to redevelop and stuff like that.
Right.
But it starts with us as individuals. So I actually went back and started looking for my nation and clan. Found out that
great.
I was Onondaga. I'm Wolf Clan, but I didn't know how to get in touch with anybody. And
Yeah,
still,
of
there's
course.
there's some resources. The Haudenosaunee website does have some resources for Six Nations and stuff like that. We could have people working on this. So
Reestablish what was already there.
yes,
Yeah.
but we need resources to do that and have people have full-time jobs to be doing
Not
that.
be doing it for free and like losing their livelihood.
Right. So it's almost like even, how our medicine people should be treated like doctors.
100%.
Even our traditional
Knowledge keepers
people
and faith keepers.
should be treated as like professionals.
100%.
Yeah, and getting paid like
it.
really well so they can survive
You see
and do
these
their
professors
things.
go out and they get $1 million speaking
Right.
fees, right?
And
And they
so
pay these guys peanuts.
exactly, and they should be getting the same because they have a lot of things. Like, this is a modern world we
Yeah.
live in. So we have to evolve to that level to get to some forward momentum.
Right. That's a great point.
Yeah. So, going back to the American Revolution, 1784, we had the Haldeman Proclamation. That was when the great fracture in the Confederacy happened, because that's when we were fighting against each other in that
Right.
American Revolution. So we had some on that British side,
Mohawks
some
were with the British, yep.
yeah, and some on the American side.
Iroquois people, Senecas and everything. Yeah, that's amazing.
So when they were fighting like that, that's when all the Confederacy kind of all splintered, and that's why Brant came up here to fight with the British, and that's why we have this land and the proclamation.
We were originally from upstate New York.
Yeah, right. We came from upstate New York, and Brant brought this band of marauders over here to hang out with the British and fight. But once the war was settled, we lost our lands in upstate New York, so now we were given this 6 miles on either side of the Grand River from the source to the mouth. So that's where we're
Our
at.
contributions in procuring Canada.
In developing Canada,
Yeah.
yes, because if it wasn't for the
We'd be
Ongwe
American
Hongwe,
right now, wouldn't we?
yeah, it would be kind of like that, yeah. And Tecumseh even had a role in all of that too as well, and he was trying to get everything rolling. So it was all these Native American tribes that were helping Canada establish their land base.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's why we're here where where we're at today and why we're having all these illegal land grabs and why we're sitting in that land back lane going, no, enough is enough. Justice has not been served, so we've got to do something to stop expansion.
We just heard from Skylar Williams, who said that the current developer at the Mackenzie,
Yeah,
1490
Foxgate and all them, they have like eight, I think 7 or 8 developments on our land.
All on the track.
all
Yeah.
100% of their business
Is all on Haudenosaunee
is on
lands.
Haudenosaunee land.
Yeah.
That's a huge statement.
Yeah, it is, but it's the truth, and that's
Only one developer.
That's
Yeah.
one, exactly. Of all, you know,
testament of the illegal land grabs and everything that's going on. But there's a deeper issue here too, because
Right.
we don't have any chiefs, signing off all this stuff. So and we couldn't hire lawyers since 1951 to even fight anything.
That's it.
So it's almost like it should be just like almost null and void anyway,
Right.
because we didn't have any representation
Yeah.
in their court of law. But if you think about it, what we did as Ongwe Haudenosaunee people is make the deal with the crown, and we were looked upon as we looked at it as equals.
Yeah,
equals.
Yep.
So if you look at it that way, we're just as much royalty in
Yep.
our minds as we'd made business with the royals over in
Yep,
Britain.
Allies.
the queen and king and all,
We are
all
queans
those-
and kings.
100%.
If royalty means anything, which
Yeah.
it really doesn't.
It's a hierarchy, right?
Right, but we're the real people. And now ask yourself that, and that's why I'm here trying to say, let's rebuild these clans so we have a voice, so we can go forward in a unified vision.
And that's a great point. And then
That's what our community needs.
I asked the same thing to Skylar. I was asking, like, what does that look like to you? Because we have that government here right now. Like, what does that, like, you know how our government, actually, the band council was imposed upon us, right?
1924.
From RCMP,
Yep.
did our not Haudenosaunee chiefs get dragged out of?
Yep.
the
By
council?
force.
By force, by the RCMP of
Yep.
Canada.
Now, one other thing that I want to make a point of is that Skylar has never said bad about people
Right.
in terms of the elected council or
Yep.
the religious facts or
100%.
or the Confederacy. He is more focused on just getting everybody together, and it's not.
Unification.
Yeah, if it's not for everybody, it's not for nobody. That's what he's always saying. I really like that line. So, what my point is.
We have to stay on point
Yeah, we have to
and not get distracted, because there's a million variables, right?
Yeah, and don't get distracted. It's like rebuilding the clans is step
Here's
one.
step one.
That is absolutely step one. And step one involves you yourself knowing where your clan
Yep.
is, what your nation is, you yourself, what your clan, what your nation is, and figuring out going to those
Making
clan
sure
mothers.
that they know my feelings.
Yes. So going forward, I don't have no qualms with them. I don't have no qualms with Confederacy. I don't have no qualms with nobody. All I'm trying to do is get people to realize that you're not a ward of the state.
Yeah.
And if you are under elected council and the Indian Act, that's all you're going to be, is a ward of the state.
Right.
And Russ Dybel came to that site and actually told us about the termination policies that they're going to try to implement, that are going to try and take away our sovereignty.
Going on
That
right now, yeah.
Exactly. And if we wait 10 years, they're gonna take it from us.
Right.
So we have to act now, and we're not going to be any further ahead if we don't act at trying to rebuild the clans. Because as long as we're rebuilding our culture and language,
Yeah.
we're going to have a base as where we can fight from.
And what that also does is tells the governing bodies, all the people that are the lawyers, all the people, is that these guys are unified, because right now they're using the fact that a group will step up and then another group will say, oh, don't listen to them, we got the power. And then another group will step up, that, the division that can take place when these kinds of big deals and money's involved and all that stuff. So what you're saying would really alleviate all those groups, because there'd be a one, all the clan mothers, that consensus would be pretty much the voice of 22,000 people instead of right now the council.
It's even bigger than that,
4%.
Jace. Like,
Okay.
can you see, once we have our stuff in order here, and then we can see all these other nations that
Because we're
are
a leader,
like
right?
Ganawage.
People look at
Well,
Six
I mean,
Nations.
Ganawage is a leader too.
Yeah.
I mean, Tainanega is a leader too. Like,
Yeah.
all these nations all have their asset.
Right.
But look at that too. I am not mad at GRE. I am not mad at the cigarette industry. That cigarette industry showed us that we didn't need anyone.
Yeah, because
So-
the money they're putting out and in is pretty much wiping each other out, right?
Well,
We're
even
taking care
more.
of ourselves, right?
I only heard rumor, but I'm
Yeah.
hearing 250 million
Right.
plus,
And Canada
we're
gets
getting
like
90.
from the government,
Right.
For
So-
everything.
so does that
For
make
everyone.
sense?
Not at all. That means
Right.
we're paying 120 million to exist.
But why did GRE do that? Because they don't have the backing of the people.
Right.
They don't want to get put in jail
Right.
either.
Yep, and then get pulled over at the border.
Right.
And all that
So
stuff.
we did just as much disservice to them by not backing the industry.
Right.
You can't be mad at industry here either. Look, I see a future of Six Nations where we have
Self-sustaining.
fast internet, the best water.
There you go.
We have communities that are like co-opted. So we have co-opted farms.
Yep.
We have people making our own food. We're doing whatever we need to do to
Yeah,
harvest
we don't need to bring
meat.
trucks in with processed food.
No,
and
we
stuff
can.
From outdoor.
There's a way that this pandemic has showed us that
Yeah.
we can cooperate together and just somebody plants corn, somebody plants
And
this, somebody plants that.
You can see that on social media.
And we
Everyone's got their gardens going.
and we start dealing in vegetables and stuff like that.
100%.
But I mean, that's just part of living sustainably that I could see this community doing, where we actually have, you know, where Skylar was saying, we don't have to pave over everything. It actually becomes families. And like little
Totally.
round divisions of
not cutting trees
communities.
down, not cutting trees
Yeah.
down, right?
Wonderful.
Yeah.
We could get back to that.
But it's sustainable. It's possible, but you have to have the
The
force
backing of the whole people, like you're saying.
and the foresight to come up with a plan to help make those things come to fruition. Now let's look at manufacturing. One of the best places, I think, you have a great workforce here. I look at Tesla solar panels, Tesla power battle, Tesla cars.
That's amazing.
I wonder why we don't have those factories here right now.
That's a great point.
There's also other manufacturing that could go on here. There's a great and tax-free.
Yep.
Why are we not
Movies,
taking
Hollywood
advantage?
movies.
Everything like that. That's happening. I
I've
mean,
always been a big supporter of the hemp industry, and I thought we should be flourishing in that.
all of that stuff.
Right.
I mean, these sorts of things, but specifically manufacturing, where all the stuff is getting made from China.
Yep.
If we could bring that into our communities, like there's a lot of jobs and stuff there available.
100%.
You need to look beyond just what the scraps are, because what's this pandemic going to do too moving forward? Like, how is the world going to look? How is it going to be looking in 100 years? You know, you got to look way, way up.
Totally. And Derek, I agree with you 100%. But we were talking on the last show, like the starting point. You know, like the things like we got to push for the future. And there's still people dealing with the old, like the traumas and the stuff,
Yep.
the hurts and the pains and the shame, the stuff that
Yep.
comes with the generational things from residential school and all these things. And we're still trying to overcome these types of things. So in your mind, you envision all of us overcoming and looking forward, right? Instead of like always maintaining.
Yeah, because I totally agree with what you're saying, because I'm fighting through my own struggles as well. You know, like I've been drinking my whole life. I think I started drinking at 3. I mean, that's just the way I grew up. I mean, now I'm like 2 years and a little bit just been really going straight sober.
Oh, that's awesome,
and I've,
man.
I've
I
learned
think that's
I've
something
learned a lot.
It's amazing.
And I've used my traditional medicine and all the resources available to me as well. But you have to get through that stuff in order to flourish. And it is, I can see the fatigue on a lot of people. It's like, how am I
Right.
going to do this when I have to take care of my kids? I have to grocery shop, I have to make dinner, and then I have to go and protest? That's why I'm backing.
Shot at by rubber bullets.
Right. That's why I'm backing
Taking your
Skylar
license plate down.
and the land defenders, because everybody's got their struggles. Him too. He's definitely got his stuff.
He's got a career.
So yeah, and now he's put it on hold for us. You know, call out everybody.
Yeah,
Where
yeah,
are
yeah,
you guys?
yeah.
You know, it's for everybody,
And
not just.
And you're not
yourself.
just talking. You're doing something. You're getting down there to help.
I
keep
had
those
to.
guys
I had
motivated,
to.
right?
I had to go down there. I felt the need because I just knew that my grandkids would look at me like an asshole. I was talking to my son. I was like, I'm down there because I want your grandkids to have a land base that they can flourish from. So you don't have to go through the same horse shit that I went through. And hopefully we can unify enough that we can get to the power that I see us to be able to be at.
Right.
If we're unified, like the Canadian government, shouldn't be scared of it. They should embrace it because when Trump was threatening to open up the borders, I thought, well, just send the Hongwe there. They'll keep it closed.
You know what?
I was
100%.
like, there'll be no getting in.
That's right.
So, I mean, they got to understand that we're not here to hurt them. We're here to help. Because we helped them form the country in the first
interest too.
Yeah, we want to help. I mean, we're learning from each other. This is a great place, and it's an awesome time to be alive. You look at who's looted. I mean, I talk about Tesla and everything, but he's right on the top of the list of how many people are the billionaires that made more money through the pandemic.
Yeah, and that's crazy.
I mean, who needs $1 billion for real? Like, for real.
Didn't somebody just become a...
I mean, who needs all that? I mean...
I thought someone just became a trillionaire.
Like, almost, I think it was Bezos.
Because Amazon, right?
He's close, I think, but I don't think quite there. Like $1 billion is a lot of money.
That's like lifetimes and lifetimes.
But again, I'm thinking too. Like I hear that the chiefs are supposed to be meeting elected council, and I'm like imploring, the chiefs that are talking to the people, like, where's $1 billion to even come to the table in good faith?
Yeah.
And we're trying to make better. So there's some reconciliation.
JUNO
right
could
there.
do that tonight, and things could.
Well,
perception could change.
Well, he gives it away to all the immigrants that are coming in, and the Syrian people came in, and he gave over $1 billion to people.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
Families, yeah, because the numbers to the government are that these immigrants, they're 30% of Canada, and indigenous people are now, which used to be 100%, are now 4%.
Yeah.
So what voice are you going to listen to? 30% or 44% banging pots and pans, right? But I think it was the things that we have, the power that we stand when we do shut the railroads down. And then it's not just Six Nations doing it, or Tyendinaga is doing it in support, and BC's doing it in support, shutting down railroads and infrastructure in support. To me, that lets the government know that we are unified when it comes to the land.
Yeah.
And then, and I think that is the bottom line of a lot of things, is that it's like no more land. Like, how much more land are we giving up for? There's going to be nothing left for our grandkids.
No.
There's no room for us to build.
We're having to cut the concessions in half, but we still don't have enough to everybody's like, we can't get along with.
Yeah.
You're like, he's too close to me.
Yeah, so, Harv?
So what do you got planned for this Saturday?
Well,
We might not have this out before Saturday, but let's talk about those concerts.
These Saturday concerts that are happening.
Yeah.
Do you have any artists up and coming showing up?
What happened with the concerts is I was like, I have a PA system and know how to run it, so I just came by and I set up, and I just was there with whoever was sharing their art. Janet Rogers was doing poetry, and there was a couple other people. Yeah, that came through and did their spoken word, which was really cool. And then the next weekend, I called out because I saw Logan online saying something about I'll do anything for my people, and I said, well, I'll see you back at Landback Lane.
I love that.
So then he was like, okay.
Stotts is the Six Nations
musician.
He's won the launch.
Seasons of the launch. Yeah.
The launch.
The launch.
Yeah.
And had a
number one hit.
iTunes hit in Canada.
So
amazing.
Just one of the people that I was like, okay, come on out, and he's like, okay, I'll come.
That's great. Yeah.
And then when we were there, it's starting to just gather some steam, because people are starting to understand that this isn't this isn't for recognition. This is for our people. This is to give support to the land defenders. They're there all week, and we get to go there for Saturday and provide some entertainment.
And that's what it felt like. I actually thought it was going to be like us just performing by ourselves, but it ended up being like a house band thing.
Yeah.
We ended up like actually all the musicians jamming together.
And Big Joe showed up the first time, and then I was like, Big Joe coming back? And he goes, oh, hell yeah. And then Burl LaForme. Yeah, Burl LaForme is an ally of ours from New Credit, and he's one of the best guitar players in the region.
Phenomenal.
He taught mostly everybody in the area. I mean, Blaine Bombery was playing with him, and then I learned a lot. Josh learned a lot from him.
Amazing.
There are so many people that he helped.
I got to see him like perform with him on stage. And,
Oh yeah.
he was
I know
phenomenal.
his sons are really good bluegrass.
Ah, they're great bluegrass,
That's
man.
amazing.
They're sick. They're so good. So yeah, when we started these concerts out, we're on the 3rd week now, and I've just been putting out online, just whoever wants to show up. I think Josh might show up this time.
Josh Miller?
Josh Miller.
He was just at the Kitchener Blues Fest.
Yep. And I had a shout out from Shub, DJ Shub, so I'm hoping he shows up because he wanted to get in.
Right.
Yeah.
Who is
The
the people
godfather
don't know?
of Powwow Step.
With Tribe Called Red.
I was telling him that. I said, "Do you mind me telling people
He's a
you're
Mohawk, man.
you're the grandfather of Powwow Step?" He goes, "I have no problem with that at all."
No, but it's true.
I know.
How can you-
That's why I said it.
It's crazy.
But yeah, it's just it's really great to see the talent, and everybody that from Six Nations knows that this is really important to come and support the land defenders who are helping try and protect our land base and hopefully get some forward momentum on some unity and rebuild the clans.
That's all I've been hearing is land and unity, right? Rebuild the clans. That moratorium would be a next step after rebuilding.
Seems
the clans.
to be,
Wanna
just
be the one,
that will stop everybody from selling out on everybody.
right? And then there'll be that precedent there, right? That precedent of a guideline type thing. But
Go ahead.
no, go ahead. If you have another
go
point,
ahead.
I'm just thinking, like, for me, I know you a little bit more because, you know, we're working together now with Darren Ross Agency, and I've got to talk to you about a lot of what you do and music and stuff. And I just very excited at all the things that you've accomplished. Like, for me, they're really noteworthy because when you played. You've done a whole album with Stevie Ray Vaughan, the late great Stevie Ray Vaughan, who
His
is
band.
his band Double Trouble.
Yeah, I couldn't get him out of the grave. He was dead by
And I'm
then.
sure he was there.
Oh man, it was incredible to do that record with Double Trouble and have Willie Nelson do a duet with me. That was amazing.
I mean, for indigenous music, it's just like not even indigenous. Take indigenous out of it. That is like absolutely historical music because Double Trouble has not. They haven't performed with anyone other than Stevie, is it?
No, they're doing. Yeah, well, kind of. They did the Archangels, right?
Oh, the Archangels, yeah. Other than
Yeah.
Archangels, yeah.
They did Archangels, and he's with I think Whippers with Kenny Wayne Shepherd now. So not all of them work together, but I was the first to get everybody back together.
Where it was with Double Trouble.
Yeah, getting the band back together, man.
Right. No, I think that's so awesome. And also, you were the music, did the music for Rumble, the Indians.
I did a
Rock the
record,
World.
yeah. Before the movie came out, I actually was doing a lot of those live shows, and I told Tim, the director, I'm going to do this record. You want to help me or not? It's going to get done. It's going to get done regardless.
Link Ray covers and
Yeah,
Redbone.
all the indigenous pioneers of the American blueprint of rock and roll, basically. And that was amazing. I got to hang out with Link's family, and I got a little piece of reel of the tape from the Rumble session. And I have his medic and army pens and
What does that
pins.
mean to you?
It's amazing. I mean, Link Ray is my guitar hero. I mean, he was the guy that invented rock and roll, the distorted guitar in 1958.
Where is he from?
He's from Shawnee, from North Carolina. Dunn, North Carolina is where
It's
he's
amazing.
from. Yeah.
It's nice to know the history of music like that because a lot of people, like for me, I know growing up as an artist, the first person I seen on a mainstream TV was Susan Aglucart. And for me, that let me know at a very young age that it's possible.
Yeah.
You know, you'd see all these big artists, but then Susan would play. I couldn't believe it. It actually kind of broke my brain.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? And so it kind of like, I just really respect that history of music, and you have a big part of that. And that music just got nominated for an Emmy.
Oh yeah, the movie got nominated for
the movie got
yeah.
nominated for an Emmy. So
Yeah.
that's fantastic.
I'm the old Indian in the beginning of that movie,
Yeah.
and I play Link Ray, so that was kind of fun. But the biggest thing for me is having Iggy Pop as my biggest fan.
I
So
know. I seen that interview.
I couldn't believe that.
They did an interview with Iggy Pop.
Yeah.
They said like, who are your favorite artists that are that
Yeah,
should be
he's like
famous?
Derek Miller. Is like, how the hell does he know that?
Can you believe that? We just thank you and Harvey.
Anytime you want to come back and
Definitely.
do this shit.
Definitely,
Yeah, we'll be
man.
honored.
I'm as much as I learn, and hopefully, can progress and learn more. I'll come and share as much as I can, and I really appreciate it. Now I'll go.
Awesome.
Thank you for coming out, man.